Over the last couple of years, this brand of putter has been dominating, especially out on tour. Lab putters, been doing really well. Quirky looking, yes, but very, very efficient. Other brands now are going, hold on a minute, we need to compete with Lab. And that's what Evnroll reckon they have done. Now, in this bag, I've got a selection of brand new Evnroll Zero putters. But before I come on to those and review them here in the H.I.T studio, this is a letter from Geryn Rife, who's the designer of Evnroll. He owns Evnroll. I like really interesting this top line. Hi Rick, hope you're well. I've been working on my answer to Lab. Like, the brands know Lab are doing well. They are having a hell of a run. But after 6 years on tour with no love and virtually no sales for the first 4 years, they deserve a break. Just goes to show, like, some of these brands have been out there for a long time, like Lab, 6 years. It's only the last couple of years that they really started to boom and go big. Well, I've been a huge fan of Evnroll putters. I've used the Evnroll putter kind of on and off, but mostly on for the last maybe 6 years or so. And this particular model, the ER2V. And like most putters, the neck of a putter, certainly when the hosel looks like that, a traditional looking hosel where the shaft is slightly in front of the face, that is tradition. Like, brands for years have done it like that. Some have made them super long, some have made them really short. You get sometimes where the shaft does go straight into the head, but typically that is a very, very normal looking hosel on a putter until now. Now, Evnroll have brought out these, the Zero putters. And when I start taking the head cover off here, if I get to that point of taking the head cover off, I would swear that's a left-handed putter. Because from that, I'm thinking, well, that hosel's the wrong way around. And it is, but it's a right-handed putter. Now again, stick with me here, because I know it kind of might seem like very small change, but if you look at those two putters side by side, the shaft on this one on my right hand is in front of the face. The shaft on this one on my left hand is going more into the middle of the head, like almost direct, almost like a center shafted putter to some degree. Like, that is very, very different. I can't remember seeing a brand do that. Now, Geryn, and again, Evnroll, believe because of that center of mass moving further away from the face stays more locked onto target. Again, similar to what Lab has been doing. Lab's been this idea of the shaft actually leaning forward. Well, Evnroll believe that they can have the same advantages of a Lab putter without needing the shaft to lean forward, just by changing the direction of that hosel. When I say it, like I said, my normal putter behind the ball, I've been so used to that look for a long time where the shaft is pretty much closer to the golf ball. When I put this putter down, that is a bizarre look. It really is. It's not super offensive at all. It's definitely not as bizarre as the Lab, but it's very, very different. The shaft is pointing right into the middle of the head, almost the center of gravity in that head. And that's why this name Zero's come into effect. Basically, I'll come on to the mallets in a minute, but it's almost like it's zeroed the center of gravity. Now, what's interesting on this putter, if I just rest that in my hands, the toe points upwards. That's quite rare. Like, the toe doesn't normally ever point upwards on a putter. If you remember a few years ago, Odyssey brought out their toe up putters, which it was a similar idea. They changed the hosel in some way, but it was very, very unusual looking. This really isn't that unusual looking. It's a little bit different, don't get me wrong, but it's not unusual. Right, let's hit some putts. Let's see how it feels. Again, it's supposed to lock the face onto target. Okay, let's give this a roll. An even roll. Sorry, excuse the pun. What's interesting with this, it does look a little bit different behind the ball, not crazy different. And you don't have to lean the club forward, like you can almost set it up level and straight. I'm gonna grip it as I would do normally. And it should be absolutely locked onto target. Felt like a good roll, that. Just pushed a tiny bit. Let's have another go. Oh, two narrow misses there. Feels good, like from a face of an Evnroll putter. This is the same kind of finish as I've been familiar with for many years. In fact, it looks like it's changed ever so slightly, but nothing much. So it does feel very familiar. Let's see if we can hold one. Okay, maybe not the best start for the three shots there, but I suppose I'm 12, nearly 13 feet away. They're not 13 feet away. They're not all going to go in. Let's hit a few more. Nice putt. We've got one, ladies and gentlemen. We've got one in. Right, let's build on that. Two in a row. Okay, so that is the Z2S, which is effectively the wide blade putter, which again is a style that I've been using for ages. We've got two other styles. This is the E5S. So slightly different head shape, going into a little bit more of a mallet, but kind of almost a blade with an extra section at the back. Let's hit a few putts with that. Again, same concept on the hosel, going right into the middle of the head. And then we've got the real special, very much lab equivalent putter after this. Let's hit a few putts with this model. That felt really nice. That rolled beautifully. Hit it. Oh, just enough. Yeah, it's not what I typically gravitate towards, but it is quite nice actually. I can't say I feel like these are absolutely locked onto target. I can't yet. However, there is one more model to try. So this model actually comes in 3 different colorways. Comes in blue, which is like this very electric blue. This is the Z1. It comes in a black finish. And it, last but not least, it comes in a red finish. But as you can see, the difference here with one of the models, the black model, I've actually got in a mid-length grip. So this is a longer grip, counterbalance grip. So you grip down on it and basically it's supposed to even give it more balance. So let's hit a couple of normal ones. I'm gonna go the red one. I think the red one kind of catches my eye. I don't think I'd be using a red putter, if truth be told. It's out there, definitely, but I mean, if it works, it works. This is very much like a lab competitor. In fact, I've actually got the lab putter here. Just have a quick look. You know, there's definite similarities there. One being the big hole in the middle, which actually picks up the ball in the lab and picks up the ball on the Evnroll. It's a big plus. The actual shaft positioning on both, albeit the lab actually shaft goes straight into the head. Almost the shaft kind of leans forward and the grip's put on at a slightly different angle. Where the Evnroll putters, these new Zero ones, it's got this new reversed hosel on. So effectively the shaft does go into the same spot as the lab would, but it's maybe not as what's the right word? Not eye-catching, maybe not as off-putting. I think for the feedback from most people that use the lab is I could use it, but it's a little bit ugly. I think that's a fair comment. Where the Evnroll is trying to achieve the same concepts and same results, but being a putter that is a little bit more subtle, but then they've made it in red and blue to make it less subtle. That kind of doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, let's hit a couple of putts with the red one first, with the standard grip on it. And I think we need a head-to-head with the lab. Okay. I mean, that is an eye-catching red. Let's see how this one. I feel like this one's going to be packed with the most technology. That's a different feel. Like there isn't a balance point really. Again, it's kind of like the lab. It just sits where it wants to sit. Okay, I'm just going to hit another 3. Let's get a proper idea of this putter, what it's capable of. That was really nice. That would never leave in the centre of the cup. That one's done well. It's a really interesting feeling. And you know, when I tested the lab, I gave it rave reviews because I was very impressed. I'm very impressed. Like it feels different to a normal putter. The one thing I found when I took the lab out on the golf course, because after the review I said I'm going to put it in the bag, I think I played maybe 2 holes with it. And I felt like out on the golf course, like it had, unless you were hitting right in the middle of the club face, it wasn't giving me a lot of support. It felt like it was twisting around the central axes and it could kind of twist off to the right or to the left. Feels the same with this a little bit. If I don't quite hit the middle, I think the face is returning straight, I do. If I don't quite hit the middle, I feel like it rotates around the central axes and then ends up going offline. It's my interpretation of it as well, whether that's facts, but that's what it feels like. Unless you're hitting exactly in the middle, I think it's hard to keep the putter perfectly straight. Okay, last thing, I just want to test this one, the counterbalance putter. Because this is, I actually really like the look of this putter. I like that blacked out, I like the white lines really pop off the head. Never been a counterbalance putter myself where, you know, you go for these longer grips. Let's see how this feels. If we're experimenting, let's go extreme. Oh, that was nice. Oh, that was nice. That never left the center of the hole. I might have spoke too early. Wow, that feels really, really, really good. Oh, that's naughty. I don't know why. Is it because the center of gravity feels like it's further up, nearer to my hands, or that feels stable, really stable. Right, while that's fresh in my mind, look at all these putters I've got out here. While that feeling's fresh in my mind, let's just go with the lab. I don't know what it is, it's just so much more polarizing, that putter. Like as soon as I put it down, I'm like, ugh. Oh God, that's ugly. That's not. I actually think that looks good. Where I put that one down, I'm like, oh God, I feel like I'm really admitting defeat using this putter. You know, I know a lot of players are using it, don't get me wrong. It just feels like it's so different, right? Well, I'm fresh off the Evnroll. Oh, I had it. Felt good. I would say that this probably feels marginally softer. That was a good putt. That's the one. Like as soon as I hit that, I knew it wasn't going to go in. I knew as soon as I didn't quite hit the middle, it was always going to miss. And you're going to expect that. Like you've got to have a square face, but you've also got to be hitting right in the middle. If not, I just feel like it twists too much. It's a really weird feeling. It really is. I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on that compared to Evnroll. I feel like that particular model with the counterbalance grip was pretty special. However, the test is going to be the ladder drill. When I did it with the lab putter, I got to 15 feet. How far can I get with this model? So the drill is simple. Hole it, you go on further up the ladder. Miss, and the video's over. Back to 6 feet. Absolutely in the middle. Nowhere else. Okay. It was right in the middle, but it was the skin of its teeth. Okay, 8 feet. Pouring them in, up to 10 feet. Oh, 10 feet. Now, granted, in this test, well, I've got to 15 feet. Take as that as you wish. For me, if I was to use one, genuinely use one, this would be the model I'd want to use. I don't think I will do, but this would be the model I'd use out of all the ones I've tested today. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, lots more to come. I think this is a competitor to Lab. I think if you want Lab technology, but you don't want it to look quite as ugly, this could be the answer. And I forgot to mention the price. They're $449. Not cheap, but to be fair, cheaper than Lab. They're like $600. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.